I just took a shower after my walk. That's why I look homeless. Sorry. I'm going to try to bring some profundity today, and that doesn't usually go very well. We're already off to a great start. Anyway, my boss said something to me the other day that really got my attention. He said, innovation is the enemy of... Nope. Time out. I said it wrong. Standardization. See, I already blew the punchline. Standardization is the enemy of innovation. And when I first heard that, I was like, what? What are you talking about? It kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, because I am a person that enjoys standardization and also innovation. And I kind of thought those two things went together. So when he said that, it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, you're going to have to explain. And so we had a conversation. We started talking, and in the context of an organization that's going through change and trying to take large pieces of an org and put them together and make them work together, right? Sometimes that is very difficult. Sometimes. When is it ever not difficult? Standardization is the enemy of innovation. We, through our conversation, kind of agreed that, okay, standardization is still good. There's still a place for it, and it can be appropriate. But it's important to determine at which level of the organization you drive that standardization from. And when you drive standardization from too high of a level, it can kind of squash the organizations under it, the different layers under it. You get down below management to the individual contributor, the people who are actually doing the work, and it can squash their innovative spirit because you've taken away an opportunity for them to create something. And that's why I at first was like, wait, what? Because I, as a little guy, I like to create things. And so I needed him to explain that to me a little bit. Where am I going with this? I think the connection that I'm trying to make is, if you are in a position to influence change in your organization, and you're part of the decision making for where standardization is going to occur, really think long and hard about at what level of your org you drive that standardization, right? And let me just use a simple example. Let's talk about, one of my favorites is file naming. Very mundane, right? There's nothing special about it, but I like to have files named in a certain way so that I know where to find them and what it is that I'm looking at. Before I open a file, I want to know what it is, right? So it needs to be pretty specific, and I'm not going to get into the details of my particular method that I like, because it depends on what the file is too, right? So, I mean, there's some variability, but it depends. So standardized for each piece of information, not necessarily. I don't have like every single file has the date and a program name and a delivery name, and well, actually it usually does have those three components. See, I'm not making any sense. Hopefully you're following. When you drive the standardization of such a thing at too high a level, you're taking away the opportunity for the smaller organizations within the umbrella to make decisions about how they organize their data, how they, say, create their tools or operate their tools or create their workflows of how they do their work, right? You need people to have the freedom, to be empowered to make some of those decisions on their own, right? So back to the connection, trying to make a connection here. which is, one of the things we talk about a lot at work is being a leader where you are. No matter what level of the organization you're at. If you're an individual contributor, you're a low-level manager or a director, be capable of leading where you are. You don't need a title to be a leader. You need leadership character qualities, leadership characteristics to be a leader. You have to be able to make connections with people and build relationships. It's those types of things that are going to build a leader. There's way more to it. I'm scratching the surface here, but hopefully my point is coming across. No matter where you are in your organization, look for opportunities for things that you can improve. Look for opportunities to use your creativity to make not only your life better, but those of your teammates, those on the cross-functional teams. You have to think about not just your little piece of the pie, but think beyond yourself and think across the aisle into the next cubicle and think about what would help make their life easier. So lead where you are. That's all I got. Have a good night.